I have played 100 hours, and that's real time, not game time, but I've played 100 hours on my current map, which is map 6, and all the time I've been playing, I've been comparing myself to map 5, where I played actually 177 hours. I've gone back for a couple of hours since then. So I've been comparing where I am after 100 hours in comparison to 177 hours. But I do think that 100 hours is a good milestone to have a look. And I think it will help me in the future, because sometimes I get a sense that the game is being slowed down, or it's more difficult, or I'm being slower. And certainly I had that sense in the last map. Now, I knew when I set up on this map that certain things were going to be more difficult and were going to be slower. But I think that a comparison of where I am in comparison to the last map will help me have a look at what I need to do in the next 77 hours to make sure I'm at the same place. I do have a sense that I'm not in a bad place, actually, and that's something that I want to have a quick look at. One of the first things I always look at, wow, that looks as if it's one block going into another, is shelter. And I think to do this, what time of day is it? 18:30. Right, first of all, I'm going to set the time, set morning. I don't want it to be going dark. Now I'm going to stop time, stop. Time stopped. And the next one, because I want to have a really good look around, is I'm going to go to game mode 2. Okay, I was talking about shelter. I knew when I had set up in this area that I was going to have a difficult problem in building a base. Look at it. It is one of the types of areas that most people with any common sense would avoid, but I spawned fairly close to here. I spawned just up at the back over there, and as usual worked my way down to the sea through all these sort of odd lumps of land sticking up. And when I got to the front of this lump of land, I found there was a natural semi-cave here. Can you see? This was a natural formation. I've chipped it out a bit. But what I do feel is that it's been a lucky choice. A difficult choice, but a lucky choice. Immediately I was able to put a wall here to get shelter. I had loads of drifters dropping on me from above, but I also had this pond, and I knew that it was hot here, so I would be able to use this almost as a greenhouse, and indeed it does function like that. So shelter, I have achieved shelter. Let me show you the front of my build. I think that looks quite pretty. I have a functioning forge, and it works extremely well. I've got, as you can see, a fully automated helve hammer. I have an iron anvil. I found iron, and this forge works really, really well. We can smelt over here. We've got our molds over here. We've got anvils over here, and also somewhere to cool things down, which also incidentally functions as a panning area. One thing I am very much behind on is I have no tapestries even after 100 hours. And it's amazing because normally when I'm panning the bony soil, I get various jewels that I can swap at the artisan trader. I have not found any jewels. I've panned about 15 of these, not one single jewel. And this one came from panning shale sand. So I think there's something odd about bony soil. So what else have I been doing? I've been able to explore the new wooden roofs, which look, I think, absolutely gorgeous. Let me come outside and show you my roof. Aren't those wonderful? I loved these roofs. They look like little tiny faces. Actually, I loved these roofs when I first saw them, and they do look truly spectacular. You can see that I've been using the new wattle and daub, and I've been using the light brown that uses limestone sand and blue clay, and I have found blue clay without too much difficulty. You can see I'm at the stage of processing meteoric iron and also processing iron itself. So we're well ahead there. I have the ability to make glass, and I've found a couple of chandeliers in ruins, but I've been making lanterns, so light is okay. We have also got ore bombs and the ability to make them. I could do with some more saltpeter, but I've got black coal, powdered sulphur and saltpeter. So we do have the ability to make ore bombs, which is, I think, pretty fantastic. So this sort of forge area is set up well. If we come through here, we've got a sort of veranda area round here, which was always on my plan. In here, I have a bedroom. So we are all right in that sense. We have glass. This glass will become clear eventually, but I'm leaving it with the panes in at the moment that I can see where I've glassed and where I haven't. But the other thing I do have is a fully automated quern and a fully automated pulverizer. I am one piece of fat short of having a clutch with that one, and I do need to put a transmission and a clutch on that one. But that's all working well. So our mechanics are set up. I am at the moment running with a basic windmill, but I'm running with, let's go and have a look, the Millwright mod. So even a basic windmill counts for a great deal. Let's pop up here. I don't know if it'll be running at the moment. Here we go. Yeah, so, whoa, this is the mod I'm using, Millwright mod here. And I do have a large gear made. I haven't yet installed it. That is next on my list, to install the large gear. Take a little bit of advantage of that. You can see the colours I'm using fit amazingly well together. At least I think they do. I'm still in the process of building the tower. But other things that I have achieved, and these are sort of like signposts on the way. I think a secure building is a huge plus. And frankly, when I'm up here in the forge, which is my favourite bit of my build, I am secure. The drifters can't get at me, and more importantly, the bowtorn have stopped being able to shoot at me. My bedroom is secure. This area is not yet secure. I have a problem with bowtorn manifesting on the branches of any tree I happen to be near, but that's okay. We're getting used to them. As you can see, I've got bloomeries. We've been burning things in bloomery, and I have been making fire clay. So we're okay on fire clay. I had a lucky find, but we did make fire clay. In addition, a secure home is one thing, but a secure food supply is another. I have a small but very, very effective farm here, and this works well. It's warm. It's 30 degrees at the moment, so we can grow things like peanuts, flax. You can see I've got all sorts of things that need harvesting. We have bees set up here, which works well. So those areas are good. And then we have lots and lots of leather working here. We're doing pretty well for leather. A lot that needs to be done, but I've got 39 leather over here. And then we've started an elk chest over here because I found an elk medallion. I found a king's saddle blanket, and I've put aside some leather to make a saddle out of. So that's all good stuff. So we have a secure food supply. Of course, we have a cellar, which is through here. So that cellar functions well. I have found 2 translocators, neither of which are mended. And the interesting thing was, in the last map, I only ever found 1 translocator, but I found lots of temporal gears. In this one, I found 2 TLs, but I'm short, desperately short, of temporal gears. And one of the reasons, I think, is that the drifter trap that I've used for years does not work, but also to make an effective drifter trap, you need somewhere for them to spawn. And this world is a lot more water than any world I have ever played on before. It's 60% water cover, so there is a lot of water. So you can see that our home, which is here, there's so much water around it, and where there isn't water, there tend to be things like paths and things like that, so there isn't that much space for them to spawn. So we have 2 TLs. I have purchased a map to the Resonance Archive, and you can see it's to the south, a long way by the look of it, but we know where the Resonance Archive is, so that's another step forward. I've only got 1 painting, and again with a shortage of tapestries, that does go back. Normally in my trading area, I've got 37 rusty gears, but normally in here I would have little jewels that I've got through panning, but I haven't found any jewels through panning at all. So that's an oddity, and I don't know whether that is just to do with my bad luck or whether it's actually part of the changes in the game, because the game has changed. The one thing you may say we are missing would be a tree farm. Wow, we have a tree farm, it's just not anywhere near us. Tree farms need space, lots of space. And you can see over here, this is our tree farm with a bonus set of chickens and rabbits. But you can see that we are growing basically walnut, which is part of my main build, oak for the leather, maple just for any loose wood we need, and also I've started growing bald cypress as well. Wow, that's the ugliest tree I've ever seen. So we do have a tree farm, it's just not where you would expect it, near the base. Right, now the other trader that I haven't found is an agricultural trader. I have found a treasure trader, a survival trader, a commodities trader, a luxury trader, a clothing trader, an artisan trader, and that's a cathedral. But what I have not found is an agricultural trader. So there are certain things I haven't found yet, even after 100 hours, and that is cabbage and pumpkins. I haven't yet got, I found heartswood but haven't got a seed. I found ebony but haven't got a seed. So that's all to do. I haven't found halite, olivine, limonite or an agricultural trader. Those are what I am lacking. And I think that it would be unfair to compare the fact that after 177 hours I'd built a boat. But I haven't yet built a boat and I haven't yet got an elk. No surprises there, because you now have to conquer the Resonance Archive in order to get an elk. I believe that is about to change. I'm hoping so anyway. I haven't got domesticated sheep or domesticated chickens. I have chickens if I want to domesticate them. Whoops, let me come up here. But what I have got are pigs. And you can see that round here I've got 3 pigs who are pregnant. Yep, pregnant, pregnant, pregnant. And we've got the boar neatly corralled off. And because I've put path there, I'm going to have to redo that route into here, but that's fine. I am about to dig this out here, and I'm going to build a brick kiln. People say, why build a brick kiln? Well, I think the answer is, with the amount of bricks I need to fire to make fire clay, I think that's a pretty good thing to have a brick kiln. And also I want to try out the different colours, and we've now got different coloured things. We're growing fruit trees here, and we have another fruit tree. I've been finding fruit trees. It's a question of getting them to grow, as is always the question. Let's go over here. Whoa, up. Right. So over here we have a mango tree, and we need to find another tree that will go there. So we're working on that at the moment. To have a look at our house, and you can see it's going to look quite pretty when we've got all the glass in. Looks pretty good at the moment, I think. So we're okay on that one. We've shown you the picture from here, and you can see that we've got this beautiful veranda here that curves around this bit. I do like this veranda. I think it looks good. I'm building a tower at the moment, so this is as far as we've got. I'm not sure about the patio, whether I like it like that. It looks a bit modern as a patio in comparison to the rest of the build, where I'm using these pretty blocks. So not sure whether I'll keep the patio, and we are in the process of building. I don't yet have metal armour. That's underway. So no boat, no elk, no domesticated sheep or chickens, no metal armour. But I reckon that for 100 hours that's not bad. One point I should make is that I am not a hair shirt sort of player. I like to take my time. I like to enjoy the game. I love fiddling around with buildings, and I actually love the beauty of the game. So I tend to wander through the game enjoying myself rather than playing hardcore and making life difficult for myself. But I think that's a reasonable effort for 100 hours. And in comparison to my last map, where I'd played 177 hours, with the exception of making the boat and metal armour, I am pretty well equal to where I was. The only thing I am missing, and I was missing on my last map, is halite. That would make life a lot easier. So guys, I hope you have liked this quick roundup of where I am and what I have achieved in this little playthrough so far. I intend to play at least another 77 hours, and I'm hoping it's a lot longer because the map I recorded on before that I played close to 300 hours, and it is amazing what you can achieve in that. The other thing I should say is, with the exception of chiseling out blocks like these blocks here, which are the limestone rocks, I haven't been chiseling at all. And when we're a bit further, I think a little bit of judicious chiseling will polish this build beautifully. So guys, that's where I've got to. If you like it, leave a like, and please consider subscribing to me if you're not already. Bye bye, my friends.